In this video, I'd like to talk about the dielectric field and how to break it down simply so that everybody can understand this, because this is a concept that physics needs to grasp, because they've only been working on one end of the energy spectrum. They've only been using the hot end of the energy stick. They've only been using the magnetism end. Basically, they've only been using the explosion technology, like lighting something and having something go out the back end of it. That's the hot end of the energy stick. Physics now needs to move towards the cold end of the energy stick. That would be dielectricity, or the dielectric, or counter space, or the 0 point. It is the complete opposite of electromagnetism. You have two things. You have magnetism and you have dielectricity. This was known in the early 1900s. This is what Steinmetz and Tesla used to come up with all the electrical engineering that Heaviside made possible. These words and terms were misconstrued and made more complicated than what they really are, but it's just a conjugate field. These two things are a conjugate pair, and what I mean is the magnetism and the dielectricity are represented by this blue line. Okay, you have dielectricity and magnetism as a conjugate pair. These things are always together, and they run like this with a right hand twist on a spiral. So here's your dielectricity and magnetism, and when it's spiraling with a right hand twist like a corkscrew, this is what is running through everything. This is the sea of energy that everything is swimming in. I think Henry T. Moraes had the book on that. So it's called the dielectric field. It's the conjugate of dielectricity and magnetism. And when you have these two in the right geometric form, you get electricity. So dielectricity plus magnetism equals electricity. You can't have electricity without those two things being present. Like I said, we've basically been using the hot end of the energy stick. We've been blowing stuff up. This is explosion technology. We need to move towards implosion technology. This would be the cold end of the energy stick. Whereas here, it's that. So the dielectricity and magnetism are running through everything. The magnetism would be represented as a positive. This would be the matter universe. The dielectricity or counter space would be represented by a negative. And that would basically be negative electricity, positive electricity, because electricity is always present in both counter space and space simultaneously. So on the magnetic end, this would be the hot end. This would be all visible light matter. It would be like a white hole. It is 1.618 in the Fibonacci. It runs with a right hand twist, or it runs clockwise, as to where counter space is like a black hole. It's 0.618, and it spins counterclockwise to the left. It's antimatter, and magnetism is matter. when you have those two things, you have the dielectric field. And this is how the energy stick of the universe operates, with your plane of inertia in between the two. This is how everything's operating. Only two dimensions: space, counter space, the plane of inertia in between. And like I said, your dielectricity and your magnetism are represented by these blue lines, and they go just like a corkscrew as a conjugate pair, following the right-hand rule. So this is the end of the energy stick that the new physics needs to focus on. Basically, the way that the crafts are working is they'll be in space and you'll see them, and then they'll blink out, jump to counter space, and then travel to another point by jumping back into space. So they're jumping from space. You won't see them when they jump to counter space, and then they'll come back at a different location. They're not traveling from A to B. They're just jumping dimensions. These are the only two dimensions you got to work with. And this is how all electrical engineering is made possible using this principle here. So thanks for watching. If you haven't seen my other videos, please check them out.